welcome to my table. It's like, no. All right. Welcome to my table. My name is Kyemah. Let's sip some water to that with lemon because we're bougie. It's like, no. I am starting this YouTube as a hobby, as something to just let loose and discuss things. There will be food and there will be great dialogue, great discussion. Today we're eating my favorite. Oh, in the eyes of an angel. It's like, no, but we're eating Chipotle. As y'all probably don't know, because this is my first YouTube. I eat Chipotle like it's nobody's business. Oh, my nose running. Ooh. And it's alright. It's okay because it's good. It's good. I pay for it, and yep. The first topic of discussion is about self-love, and this is something that I'm sure many people have discussed before in their circles, their private circles, whoever they want to discuss it with their family members, their friends, themselves. But it's something that has come up a lot recently in many of the discussions that I've had with people. Also, I've seen it on some of my followers' social media, and they'll, do the whole, what are your thoughts on this and that, show a little post. And those weren't outlets, those weren't social media platforms that I could really express myself and go into depth a little bit about my thoughts about it. Because I'm going to share, like if I'm comfortable enough, I'll share with you. But now I have this outlet, and I'm going to use this platform to really share my thoughts on different things. And like I said, today we'll be discussing self-love. So first and foremost, I buy Chipotle as a form of self-love. No, but real talk though. Like, not literally, like this isn't a form of self-love, but it's something that I enjoy, and it's something that is affordable. And I eat it often. I don't, all right, let's get to the real conversation. I'm gonna stop talking about Chipotle. But in all seriousness, personally, in my opinion, which all of this will be subjective, my definition of self-love, there's no set definition for one. Everybody has different definitions of self-love. And of course, we may not agree. We may agree, and that's okay. Because self-love, in my opinion, is a relationship with oneself. And that may seem surface level, but let's dissect that a little bit. It's a relationship with yourself. Do y'all understand like what a relationship is? And I don't mean, the stuff we see on social media. And like I said, even a relationship is subjective, but it's a relationship. It's self-love is love of self for one, and which is kind of obvious, but it's very intimate. It's very vulnerable. It is time invested in who you. Like, these are things that may seem intuitive, and as I say it may seem very obvious, but clearly, if we're all discussing it, it's not something that's very obvious. I will be saying things from a personal point of view, so of course, like I already said, everything is subjective. This is not verbatim. This is not law. This ain't law. But there are some things that I think should be covered. Oh, let me put this on silent. In terms when you're discussing self-love, like I said, it's an investment. And I believe that self-love is heavily tied to discipline. Discipline. Like, on my forehead, right there on my forehead. Discipline. And with that being said, self-love is also, it isn't always, it is multifaceted, just like a relationship. And now, with that being said, it's not always comfortable. Self-love is not always comfortable, and it's not always doing what you want to do. Sometimes it's doing what you really need to do. Sometimes it's, or many times, if not all the time, it's taking the time to see where you are right now in this moment, recognizing that and accepting that, acknowledging that, and then accepting that, and then also recognizing where you've been, where you've come from, and also realizing where are you going, where do you want to go, where do you need to go, and then also adding on to that, what do you need to do to get there, bro? Nieces and nephews that are here at the table with me, what do you need to do to get there? It is an investment. Many times we sit here and we do things, or the opposite. We don't do things that we are supposed to do that will benefit us, help us, improve us. It's about that discipline. Many times, you got to do what you don't want to do. Even in self-love, you do have the opportunity, by the blessing of God, to do things that you want to do in conjunction with that. But it's a combination of, really investing time. I'm in college right now. About to graduate with that bachelor's degree, shawty. I'm your whole degree baddie. And I have horrible senioritis. I skipped several classes this week. I skipped classes today. But I say that to say this, that I definitely shouldn't have skipped those classes. One of the classes I had an assignment in, missed 8 points on that. Today I had a whole discussion quiz. Missed about 5 points on that. And don't get me wrong, it ain't gonna really mess up my grade for real, because those are small assignments. But I definitely should have took my behind the class. And I knew that. I was tired because I got off work late last night. But self-love is also about taking the crickets with the straights. Like, shout out to Fences, because that's where I got that from. In this life, you have to take the good with the bad. And with that, it's all about perception. I honestly, genuinely will not change anything that I've been through. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I've been through a lot, because everybody has been through a lot. However, I've been through a lot, especially last year, and I am still here. I am still blessed. I am still alive. I've lost a lot last year. A lot of people that have meant a lot to me. And trust me, I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do none of my responsibilities. I didn't want to take care of none of my obligations. However, and I'm not saying this anything about the losses, but I had to keep in mind that I have to love myself enough to continue going. And continuing on in my life does not mean that I don't love the people that are not here anymore. Continuing on does not mean that I'm not paying attention to them. I still have a lot of healing, but I had to recognize, I love myself. I love what I'm capable of. I love what I've done thus far. I did not come through 3.5 years of college to not finish. I did not do that. I still have so much more going for me, as we all do. We all do. I can't stop. I refuse to stop. Because I love myself enough to recognize I need to get up. I got responsibilities. I got obligations to myself. I haven't even touched on the obligations that I may have to others. I have to keep going. I have a responsibility to myself. And I'm not going to let myself down like that. I had to have the discipline to get up and keep going. The discipline. Ooh. Nieces and nephews. I'm spitting food out my mouth. It's alright though. I had to have the discipline to recognize, like, Kyemah, this is where you are and you are feeling this way. And you need to take the time to feel this way. But you also need to take the time to remember that you have obligations to yourself, honey. You have things that you want. You have things that you are driven to do. And when I realized that, son, niece, nephew, I did it. I thought about a plan to do it. Okay, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to get this done? What steps do I need to take? And these may seem like small things, but these are serious small steps in order to ensure your success, in order to invest time. I invested that time in myself. I invested those conversations like, Kyemah, you need to get it together. You need to buckle up and pattern up and do what you got to do, honey. And a lot of times I didn't want to do it. A lot of times I still don't want to class. But I know how victorious I'm going to feel. I know how blessed I'm going to feel. I know how successful I'm going to feel when I walk across that stage and get my degree. I know it's rewarding. It's my perception of things, my perception of the feeling that I'm going to feel, my perception of during this journey. And that's a whole nother thing. I feel like a lot of times we look in the past and we look in the past, we look in the future, but we're not being present. Be present in this moment. Be present in this journey. Listen, these college assignments is a lot. Okay, they're a lot. But in this journey, that's what I mean by I don't regret anything about the past. This journey has been so fulfilling. Like I said, with the losses, many times, and this is no judgment to other people. This is no criticism. This is just observation. Many times people cannot handle the pressure. People cannot handle the loss. People cannot handle, and it makes me a little emotional now. It is their cross to bear. Everybody has their own crosses to bear. And I'm not saying don't help them. I'm not saying they don't need help, because people do. But my personal perception of where I am, where I was, where I am right now, and where I want to be in the future, she is a phenomenal woman, honey. The same thing for y'all. Y'all are phenomenal. People are phenomenal. And I mean that. I really do. Because it's all about, as I was saying, it's all about how you think, how you perceive things, how you speak life or death into things. Self-love is about, like I've already said, self-love is about discipline. Self-love is about recognition, acknowledgement, and acceptance of where you have been, where you are, where you're going. But it's also about honesty. I think I said this before. It's about intimacy with yourself. A lot of people out here lying to themselves. A lot of people out here are lying to themselves about where they are. I mean that. And we gotta be honest. Honesty. Personally, I demand honesty in all of my relationships. Family, friends, romantic relationships, work relationships. But how can I sit here and demand honesty from all these other people if I don't even demand it of myself? I gotta be honest with myself, honey. I have to be honest with myself. And that's another thing. Sometimes you may not really be where you think you at. Sometimes you may have to reevaluate where you want to go. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's very okay. But be honest. Honesty. Be so honest with yourself. Like I said, also, that investment, that time that you're spending with yourself, be honest in those times. Now, I'm not saying don't have dreams. I'm not saying don't have hopes at all. But be honest about that. You better be honest. Like people be so quick to point the finger, and I'm just like, you got how many? 4 pointing back at you? Well, they don't, the thumbnail count, I guess. So I got 3 pointing back at me. And I include myself in this because I am not exempt. I am not exempt. But this is how I operate. This is how I view things. And you really got to step back and look like, is it me? Sometimes think, is it me? And if you know it ain't you, by all means, do what you gotta do to be in a better place. But it's all about that discipline. Taking the time to taking a moment, spending that investment, that time investment, or whatever type of investment, whether it's time, financial, mentally, spiritually, whatever it may be, taking that investment physically, and then recognizing, okay, this is what it is. I accept how it is. How do I move forward? And having that discipline and commitment to move forward. But I feel as though I want to hear some other sides of the story, some other perspectives, of course, because all perspectives are welcome. It ain't just me, it ain't just me at the table. Well, kind of is right now, but you get the point. And see how other people feel about self-love. But in that, I didn't finish my meal. It needs a bit of a lot, but that's okay, because we're gonna save it for leftovers. But that's just my thoughts on self-love a little bit. I covered everything. Remember, honesty, being intimate and honest. And when I say intimacy, because people be so out of it sometimes, I don't mean, there's different levels of intimacy. Intimacy isn't physical. It can be, it's an element of it, but intimacy is not a physical thing. It's being vulnerable, being honest, being genuine with yourself. Be genuine with yourself, ladies and gentlemen, nieces and nephews, uncles and aunts, sisters and brothers, mothers and fathers, daughters and sons. Be honest and genuine with yourself. And carry out that discipline. Even when you don't want to. Carry out that discipline. I dropped so much rice on my bed. But yes, be honest. Learn discipline, and it's gonna take time. That's why I said time so many times in this video. Like, it's an investment. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen, and most of the time it don't even happen in 6 months. Okay? Like, be honest, be genuine, invest time in yourself, do what you need to do, set an alarm, wake up earlier. That's one of my biggest things that I struggle with, waking up early. I am not a morning person, but I have recognized long before now that when I wake up early, I am so much more productive. I get so much more things done. I simply just have more time to do things. Waking up at 11 o'clock even, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I can't do nothing. I can do stuff, but my day is so limited, especially depending on the season. But small things. You can start off big, you can start off small, because everything is subjective. It's all about the person. But setting an alarm, waking up early, getting the discipline to wake up, get up out of bed. If I need to take a cold shower to wake up, doing that. If I need to take a hot shower, doing that. And I detest cold showers, honey. I can't take it. When I get out the shower, I need my skin to be boiling. But anyway, that's not the point. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do, honey. And look, I'm wearing this shirt from Planet Fitness. If you gotta work out, that's a huge thing about discipline, man. I used to have a Planet Fitness account. I deleted that because I couldn't afford it. You recognize. I had to recognize and accept that. And I also wasn't making the time to do it. I didn't have the discipline or commitment to it to do it. But anyway, you know, to give you a free shirt or whatever. Be free. Like, look at the, I want y'all to understand. Be free. Be free. We have the autonomy to do what we need to do, to be where we need to be, to be where we want to be, okay? Set that alarm. Wake up early. Run in the morning. Run at night. Whenever you can fit in that physical time. Financially, oh my Lord, I could, listen, that can be a whole other video. Financially, we gotta discipline. Being fiscally responsible, financially responsible takes huge discipline and sacrifice. But it's worth it because it's for me. I love myself, and I love myself enough to take the time and the financial responsibility to seek the outcome that I want to see in the end. Whether that be physically, financially, mentally. Seek advice if you need to. Seek a counselor, a therapist, a licensed professional, and take the time out to spend that on yourself. Take the time out to spend it on yourself. I wasn't really looking at the camera correctly, but take the time, take that investment on yourself. That is self-love, and I mean that so genuinely. And I am working on it. I am a work in progress. I am not the finished product. So I don't want nobody, if anybody watch this, I don't want them to be like, oh, what you trying to say? She already did it. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's very motivating to see that final product. But I am included in this advice that I'm giving to other people. Well, yeah, I guess you can say that. take that time, take that investment on yourself. It's so much fulfilling. And also when you do that, that's projected. People feel that. People see that. People feel that. They know when you've taken the time to invest in yourself. They see it, they feel it, they vibe with it. They may not always should, but I'm serious. I'm serious. I am so serious. But do that for yourself. Do that for yourself. Whatever obligations you have, put your best foot forward. If you have kids, you know your obligations. Nieces and nephews, you know your obligations if you got kids. But even with kids, whether you take care of your parents, whether you take care of your grandparents, whether you only take care of yourself, whether you take care of your dogs, your cats, your cows, your kids, like I already said, even your belongings. And I don't want to make it seem too, trivial in terms of belongings, but seriously, like, how you treat other things is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And if you ain't right, like Lauryn Hill said, how you gonna win when you ain't right within? Y'all better take that investment, because I'm worthy of the investment, hun. I know that. I know that. But with that being said, welcome to my table. Welcome to my table, looking at the camera correctly. And I will see y'all. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. We'll see how this goes.